Hey everybody, Dual666 here, back for my horror movie collection update for April. Sorry I seem a little out of it. I am sick right now as I tape this, so forgive me. I'm just going to try and get through this and give you guys the goods. Shout out to my boys here in Sheer Cold who are going to be the soundtrack for the day. And I'll have their all their social media stuff in the description and shit. So you should definitely go fuck with their music after this. And you guys know how I like to get this shit started. So we're gonna do it backwards compared to how I usually do it. Cheers, everybody. Got that Rolling Rock and the Braineater special. Cheers, everybody. Shout out to my boys in Braineater because we're putting the work in, and gonna have some new music for everybody else, you know, in the scene real soon here. Cheers, guys. Alrighty. Let's just get into it, huh? Alright. Last month we had holiday. We had St. Patrick's Day, and I didn't, watch all the Leprechaun films this year. So we have the Leprechaun's game. I am, to my understanding, there's another film in this series out now. I'll definitely be checking it out. This one's not great, but I had a fun enough time with it. It's basically your run-of-the-mill modern terrible slasher, but I love this shit. Some of them work, some of them don't. This one does, so check it out if that's your sort of thing. We're gonna keep it real with the dollar store fodder, guys. We have the Lifechanger next. This is a very interesting film. I wouldn't say it's horror per se, but it's definitely got some horrific shit in it. And I thought it was a very unique concept, and save for the lackluster ending, and trust me, I don't know how I would have wrapped it up better, even still. This was actually a pretty damn good flick for a buck, and I out of all the ones I bought recently, I would say this is probably the best one. For very cheap new flicks. Alright, we've got another... This is like a supernatural getaway slashery sort of thing. Another dollar store fare. We have Getaway. Is it? Yeah, it's just Getaway. This one wasn't super great. Starts slow. There's not a lot here, for the diehards, I would say. But, it is an uncorked feature, and I've been hitting these guys, furiously lately with all their features. They have a lot of good ones. This one just kind of fell short for me, so... Here's what it is. And once again, I apologize, guys. I am feeling pretty sick, so excuse the way I might look or sound or whatever, guys. So next one we have here is yet another I'm sorry. I'm going to correct myself here. This is not an uncorked release. This is a red eye release. Still some dollar store fodder. We have Lifeform from 2018. This one turned out to be pretty fun, actually. I actually really, really enjoyed this one. Got plenty of gore, cheesy sci-fi horror, so, if that's what you're about, definitely give this one a go. I thought this one held up decently for $1. Oh, that goes down there. Alright, let's get the next one. Alright, one more for the dollar store fodder, guys. We have a Gary Oldman feature here. We have Mary. From 2018? Yeah. This is more slow burny sort of stuff. Obviously, haunted, supernatural, weird shit out at sea and whatnot. Wait for the commercial here. These bastards are going to try and make you listen to commercials, but nope, I'm going to give you that nasty-ass fucking cold-themed deathcore. Some more sheer cold for y'all. Anyways, back to the movie we have here. We have Mary, like I said, from 2018. Much more of a supernatural thing. You know, the imagery in this is pretty good. I just felt that it kind of fell flat It could have been so much better, but you know, I'm not gonna say that I didn't enjoy it. I still had fun with it, so you know, check it out if it looks cool to you. It's worth it for $1. I keep trying to put them up there, man. All right, next one. Next two really aren't like super horror. They're just kind of horror adjacent. They come. This particular one comes from a line of horror parodies, and this one's not necessarily a horror parody. It's just more of a straight up parody film for superhero movies. We have the superhero movie, and this one's from 2008. You know, more so based off of Badass and X-Men and that sort of stuff from that era. Not really my thing to begin with. And then you had Drake Bell, who has not aged very well, and you know, you get a pretty cringy flick. There's some small laughs to be had here and there, but you know, if I wasn't a completist, I don't think I would have ever picked them up. So tread lightly. Totally comparable to Scary Movie 5, which is also horrendous. Alright, this is one I'm not going to talk about too much. It's also not really horror. It's more horror adjacent, more like murder drama. I already have this, and oddly enough, I also have it in a very thin package like this, but it's a different thin package of Murder on Flight 502. Kind of a, like I said, more of a crime drama, but like it has some slashery elements to it, so, you know, it's horror adjacent. It is what it is, so. Saw the different edition, had to scoop it up. Some good stuff from the 70s. Alright, another thin one here. We have a bootleg of High Tension, and this is, you know, next to worthless, I would say, to pretty much anyone else. But I grew up heavy on bootlegs and watched them pretty regularly, and I haven't quite watched this one yet, but there's just something different about watching a movie on bootleg. And it's pretty crazy to think, you know, what an industry that used to be. So it's kind of like a time capsule sort of thing. I'll definitely give it a go with some background noise or something at some point. So High Tension, obviously a great flick. Interesting copy. All right, I have this out of order, so I'm gonna stick those up front. We'll go to the next one here. Not going to talk too much about this next one as well. We have David Cronenberg's The Fly from 1986, I believe. Yeah, 1986. Classic 80s horror. Classic Cronenberg goodness. Probably one of the grossest films he's ever made, and that's really saying something. So, you know, obviously I have this. I picked up the Fly box set from Scream Factory recently. It has the Blu-ray with lots of extras and stuff. But I'd never quite gotten my hands on a regular DVD copy, and like I said, I'm a completist, so snagged it up for cheap. There it is. Great film, though. Same goes for this one. So Friday the 13th is like my favorite horror series of all time, and it's probably the series I have the most editions of any of the films out of like my whole collection. And I'm slowly but surely tinkering away at the original DVDs, and I found part 7 recently, and yeah, it's not as fresh as when I found it. I gave it a new case, but the disc was in pretty good condition as well, so, you know, just completing that collection more and more as I go. Obviously, not my favorite film in the series, especially not the first 8 Paramount films, but still a good sequel nonetheless. I love those first 8 films pretty much commemoratively, so here's what it is. Glad to have it. Alright. Cool, this one's gonna start. Hell yeah, and keep enjoying that fucking sheer cold. That's a good. Alright, we have a couple sequels from the same series here. As we exit the DVDs and enter the Blu-rays, we have Resident Evil Retribution on DVD, and then we have Resident Evil The Final Chapter on Blu-ray. Obviously, not even close to the strongest sequels in this series. You know, still had a lot of fun with them, but, you know, there's not a lot to be said about them. There's definitely worth viewing. You know, if you're a big fan of the series, I would say it's obviously pivotal, you know, imperative that you watch all of them at some point. But, you know, there was nothing in these films I thought that the first, you know, the first 2, 3, you know, didn't pull off better. So, you know, not bad, but you know, only for the real fans of this series. So there they are. I really enjoy Resident Evil, so had to complete the series. Working on the animated films now, so I'll eventually be, you know, talking about those in the future when I get all those. Alright, gonna keep it on with the Blu-rays, guys. We have The Night House with Rebecca Hall from, this is more recent. When is it? Oh, it says 2021, so it must be, you know, just last year. And this is more of a slow burn, haunted house, supernatural, like, almost like a sad romantic drama. But, you know, plenty of horror elements as well. It's just a very slow burn, and I feel like it could have been wrapped up a little bit better. But still, I really enjoyed The Night House, and it's one of the better contemporary horror films I've you know, found recently. So I wouldn't, you know, I wouldn't miss this. I would check it out if I was you, you know, as long as you know, you're into that style of horror. So yeah, The Night House, good stuff. Alright, this is something that has seen the most mixed reviews I've ever seen in my life. Sorry about that, guys. Excuse me. Anyways, we have Malignant from James Wan. That's who made this. James Wan made Malignant here. This is a very colorful film as far as themes go. There's lots of different themes going on here, lots of different focal points as the movie kind of drags on, and you know, it's definitely not the most cohesive major motion picture in horror in the last couple years, but I feel like fans of old school horror will really enjoy this, and you know, it's a pretty batshit fucking crazy ride, and what can I say, man? You know, by the end, you know, you'll probably be pretty fucking tired of it, but I thought it was worth checking out. So, yeah, not even gonna say that was a bad time. Malignant was fun, but obviously not like truly elevated horror, not to be taken too serious. And yeah, tread lightly if that's not what you're about. All right, we're gonna take it back to the 50s, y'all. We have Tarantula from 1955. Yeah, 55. Not my favorite giant spider film, but a damn good one nonetheless. And, you know, the ending is just absolutely fantastic. They firebomb the tarantula. You know, who cares? It's from 55. I'm going to spoil it. Who cares? They win. But so worth watching regardless. Such a short, you know, fun little flick from the 50s. And, you know, for everybody that's really into that sort of stuff, I would say you really need to check that out. All right. Next one here we have is another Scream Factory release. We have Alone in the Dark from '82 with Donald Pleasance, among many other stars. I'm going to try and wrap this up quickly because we've only got one more song left in this sheer code playlist. Anyways, really good slasher film. Not really a conventional one in my opinion, but plenty of stuff that the slasher films, you know, slasher film fans are going to be looking for. Good kills. You know, unlikable characters, you know, absolute cheesiness in the script and dialogue. So, yeah, for, you know, a period piece, it's kind of late to the party as far as classic slashers go, but it's a lot of fun. Alright, speaking of classic slashers, we have 1 year before Nightmare, or Nightmares in the Damaged Brain. As you can see, I picked up this Region B Blu-ray. And the English dialogue would not play on it for some reason. It's there, I would select it, but then it would just play the Spanish dialogue. So, caved, spent a little extra money, got the DVD that I was after for much, much, much longer from Code Red, and had a blast. Absolutely fantastic, classic fucking slasher film. I don't want to give a single thing away about it. You should just definitely check this out. This is highly sought after for a reason, and yeah, if you haven't seen it, definitely seek it out. As we break back into the DVDs, guys, we have Strangeland with D Schneider. I believe he's a big part of making this film as well, but, you know, D Schneider from the Twisted Sister, the band Twisted Sister. And this is a slasher film as well. from the late 90s, I do believe, and, you know, also very unconventional. Bears strong resemblances to other movies of that period that have to do with Mardi Gras and that time of year. But there's definitely some gnarly scenes in this worth checking out, and yeah, been after that a while. Glad to finally check it out. Keeping it in the 90s, we have an anthology film here. We have Campfire Tales from 1997. Like I said, anthology film. Pretty cheesy, dealing with like old folk horror tales and whatnot, and I had a total blast with it. I feel like any fan of cheesy, straightforward, old school horror will, you know, get a kick out of it as well. And definitely seek that out, guys. Going to move my nose real quick, guys. Alright. Recently found this full moon. I'm actually gonna replay this track because it's so fucking sick. And because I just need a couple more minutes, guys, and you're gonna keep enjoying Sheer Cold. So anyways, back to the Amethyst Mythos, and we have this full moon box set here of the Ginger Dead Man, the first 3 films. I know that there's other Ginger Dead Man films, you know, that Full Moon has done ever since. But this pack is pretty classic. It was in pretty good condition of the first 3 films. And you guys know I love these, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. Alright, I've always had this film as well on a multi-pack, but I've never found a singular edition until now. So we have Frogs from 1972, and really slow-moving... Excuse me, guys. Really slow-moving animal horror that doesn't really pick up at all until the end. Even still, I would say that a lot of people don't feel like this movie has a lot of payoff. But it's a very, very cheesy, fun movie from the 70s, if that's your sort of thing, and it's certainly mine. You know, to have Ray Milland and Sam Elliott, you know, button heads in this film is just the funnest thing in the world. It's so fucking stupid, and yeah, you know, classic MGM title there. You know, it looks as though the Fun Facts is very similar to the Midnight Movie releasings on DVD from MGM. So, obviously a very classic DVD. Cool to have that old edition. 3 more, guys. We got some aquatic horror to wrap this up. We have Sphere from, I know it's from the 90s, from 98. Not really more of a horror film, just more of a sci-fi thing, you know, aquatic sci-fi. Didn't have a problem with this. When I posted about it, you know, I saw lots of hate for it online. And, you know, in comparison to the next, you know, 2 films that I'm going to show you, it's definitely the weakest of the bunch. But I still had a lot of fun with this. It's definitely the slowest burn, longest flick, you know, of these sci-fi flicks I'm showing you guys today. But, yeah, I still liked it. I thought it was fine. Next up we have Leviathan from 1989, I believe. Yeah, 1989. This is a very, very similar flick to the last one I'm going to show you guys. It's like, you know, creature flick, sci-fi horror from obviously late 80s. You know, you can expect some very good creature effects in this. You can expect some cool kills. But I would say that it's lackluster in comparison to the film that comes last in my update, which comes from 88, year before, and is Deep Star 6. I saw a lot of hate for this one online as well, but in terms of 80s horror, I feel like this is just one of the most over-top, awesome, totally fun, nutso fucking 80s flicks I've seen in a long time, and I couldn't be happier with it. I thought the creature was cool. I thought plenty of the kills were really, really cool, and yeah, I mean, you should definitely check it out. And that's pretty much going to wrap it up, guys. Sheer Cold's just about done here, and I'm going to turn that off so nothing else fucking comes on and makes my video awkward. And I'm going to wrap it up, guys. So yeah, making lots of music. Obviously, you know, if you're following me on social media, my shit's all below for my personal social media as well as all my band social media. Also going to give you guys, like I said, the deets on the Sheer Cold stuff. So if you want to follow them, show them some love, do that. Please, please, please. Good friends of mine. Love those guys. And yeah, like I said, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you guys for watching as always, and I will see you guys again really, really soon with something else. Thank you for bearing with me in my super nasally ass voice. See ya.